So for now, I'm just gonna go up with it. So I believe I got everything off. Alright, Leekautorepair. So I got a 2007 Buick Lucerne. This one got the Northstar, so we're not working with the 3.6. And on this one, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be patching up this oil leak. When I say patching up this oil leak, I'm not saying like I'm literally just going to put a patch on it. The oil leak is bad, something crazy. So I got to take out the transmission and going to be replacing the rear main seal. So a job like this for me is usually like a walk in the park, but for you, make sure you got like a helper. But at least what I can do in this video, I mean, I'm not going to give you completely everything, but I will let you know what's needed, maybe what tools you should be using, and more so just the procedure on getting to this rear main seal. So again, the transmission, if I ain't already said, transmission gotta come out. And let me get some gloves on. And I always tell everybody, if you cannot get the front tires off, don't do a job like this, because you're gonna look crazy doing a job like this. If you can't get the tires off, what kind of common sense and IQ do you have? Until you put yourself at danger at the same time. It's funny, but it's not funny at the end of the day. So I ain't responsible for whatever happens when you follow my procedure. You are responsible. These are your hands that you are using. You're just using my vision on how I looked at it and how I did things. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And catch me on Instagram too if anybody interested in some work. If you in a metropolitan area where I'm from, if you read my About Me section, get at me and maybe we'll work something out, see where you at. And yeah, hit the subscribe button. Alright, this part, easy. So one of the things I want to start with is brake hose. Put it off to the side, and then when I'm done, I like to put the bolt back where it was, so that way when it's time for me to look for it, I know it's there. Alright, so we got that out the way. Next, we're going to do this tie rod. In a second, I'll show you. For you, it should be an 18, but they got aftermarket, so it's a 19. Y'all ain't hear that, and y'all ain't see that. It's all good. We're going to keep it moving because I'm pretty sure I got adequate light over here. So the nut itself was inside of the gun. So I like to put that on the lift too. Then I'm going to take this hammer, and we already got whack marks on here, so it won't help. Well, I mean, it won't hurt to whack it some more. Next is the axle nut, and the axle nut is a size for me. This is an aftermarket nut, so I don't know what it would be for you, probably a 34 or 36, but for me this is a 33. I'm going to be taking off this nut and bolt setup for the strut. It's going to be spinning a little bit, but it's cool. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers just to lock it down if I could find myself a good pair. And excuse the noise that's outside. I don't know what that is. It's something. But I'm going to grab a pair of pliers that I do have. Maybe it's like some type of fire alarm or something. I don't know. Alright, so that's one. Try to push it in or take the hammer because the tip of this bolt is tapered, so you can hit it. See how it's coming out? Like that. Push the knuckle in, wiggle it out. And be careful. This brake hose I got slack. It's not going nowhere because the axle is still inside. So now, what I'm doing is going to get the axle out the knuckle. And I'm hoping I can catch all of this on camera. And that I'm good. So axle came out cool. Make sure you disconnect your wheel speed sensor. And I'm gonna undo this brake caliper, and these bolts are 215s. I shouldn't have to tell you how to remove the brake caliper. You should be able to do that yourself. So after I get the brake caliper removed, because I need to take a couple shortcuts just to keep the film short. But take the caliper off, and I'm gonna mount it or zip tie it to the coil on the strut coil. Knuckle is fully loose. If you want to, you can take it apart. I'm not taking off this. I'm gonna leave it on the control arm. Now, when you drop in the subframe, it may make the subframe between the rotor and this knuckle itself make the subframe heavier than it should be. So, sway bar length you're gonna leave on it, and we're gonna leave the sway bar itself and not touch it. We may have to unbolt something. I'm not sure. It depending, because we're gonna have to get into the rack bolts. It's 2 nut and bolt set up for the rack and paint we're gonna get to. But let me get everything apart. And also there is a clip right here. If you got a pick, if I got a pick, so this is what I was saying. Hang the brake caliper up. Take your pick. If you notice on why I got shades on, because my light bright as hell. Got an actual big work light. Too damn bright. That one I got from Harbor Freights too. So now I can see inside of here. And I got access to the mount bolts. There's 3 of them. So we put this off to the side. So let me knock out the passenger side real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all know what's needed next. Next, since we got both sides done, so your suspension should be set to go as far as suspension. We're gonna do the 2 rack bolts. We got one right here where my finger is, and then we got another one right above me. So you can get in there with multiple ways. I'm gonna see if I could use this ratchet wrench. And actually, I'm gonna go in there with a regular ratchet setup with a 18. I do got the one side off, so now I'm only working on getting this side done. This power steering hose, I know I say don't bend it, but you're gonna have to bend it a little bit, because if it's in your way, it looked like somebody might have had this out before and it was in my way. So now I'm free. Just gotta look up on the rack a little bit. This should be able to pop right out. And there's another hose. This hose for the secondary injection follows right under the axle. It's a clip, it's a pushing clip, so it's easy to come out. You'll know what I'm talking about. And this basically, I'm separating the air injection pump. All right, underneath we got some mounts. It's gonna be guess you're gonna remove. I was stuttering for a second. So one right here, mount right there, front engine mount, rear engine mount. They might call it a side engine mount. And then you got 2 18s over here for the transmission mount. So that's one. I got oil dripping on me. 2. And we got 2 more over here, so it makes it a total of 4 you're going to be removing. I got the air injection pump removed. We already saw I got the suspension removed. I removed the 2 nuts for the bottom of that transmission mount, and I'm pointing right at in the center. And come up over here, we got the brake control module. See how it was 2 holes right there? It was 2 10s there. I removed that. Then we got some clips for the brake lines right here. 1 and then 2 right there. Coming along on this side, there is a clip, and then I cracked open that clip in the back right there. See how the brake line is sticking up? So there's 2 of them sitting in there. So on top, we're gonna have to take this air box out, because we're gonna get a couple transmission bolts. I see 2 up here. It may be a 3rd down on the side on these 4T65 transmissions. Usually the configuration is usually the same with the bolt pattern, so you should already know where it's at if you got experience. So I'm just gonna finesse this out with like a magnet. All right, so now I'm working on getting the subframe bolts. Sorry I confused you in the steps. Like I said, the order is going to be real messy. It's not going to be in order. So for now, I do got the other side unbolted for the subframe bolt, so now I'm going to do the driver's side, and then I want to point out on what on the transmission needs to be removed. I won't show you exactly, but I'll point it out just to save myself some time. So I'm going to start with this front one. Pull that down. The back ones. Then this one. Alright, so now we lowered. So your rack should be staying in the car, and we should be able to lift up on the transmission just a little bit, because I can see now I got space in between this transmission mill. So let me see if I can go up on it a little bit. Let me see where we at. And I'm going to go around it and make sure it's Gucci before I proceed. Everything off of the subframe where it needs to be. And like I said, I'll go over for a second. So for now, I'm just going to go up with it. So I believe I got everything off. It's absolutely good. The subframe is kind of heavy a little bit. It ain't that bad. It'll only be heavy if you wide because I left the knuckles on there with the brake rotor. I'm just gonna go high enough. I'm just leave it right there for now, and I'm going to now. I gotta maneuver this subframe out of here and put this into the back of the car all by myself, literally. I'm pretty much done. I'm burnt out. When I say burnt out, the time now for me is 6:33 Eastern time. So I'm a little burnt. Been at this kind of like not this at all. I've been in here doing other stuff before I started working on this. And between me, when I go home, I gotta edit this video and everything. So I'm a little bit burnt out. I need to reserve some energy too. I'm hungry. Like, I'm hungry as shit. So I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And so next video, when I come back in here tomorrow, I'm gonna be recording. So I'm gonna be doing extra stuff like I gotta remove the exhaust because there's a bolt on the in the back side of the on the top back side in the bell housing area. I gotta remove the exhaust to get to that bolt, you know, that long bolt that you gotta stick a long extension and from the passenger side on the 1465. So I gotta do that, and I need the exhaust stop because I can't get to the flex plate bolts. I need to get to them, and I need an acetylene torch. So I'm gonna buy an acetylene torch tomorrow. And I know my map gas ain't gonna work because this is a 07, and then those studs don't look too good. So I need those studs like cherry. When I say cherry, like literally like glowing cherry, I want them to come off good because I'm gonna take apart the whole pipe, and then I gotta heat up the 2 13mm bolts that's on the pipe, that crossover pipe that runs in the front of the motor. So that's what I gotta take off. Usually I know on the 3.6s or any of the 3.8s or the 3.4s or whatever engines they had made, as far as 3 series, you didn't really have to fuck with the exhaust like that. Like, I'm sorry, I had to cut that out. What I meant to say is, you really didn't have to mess with the exhaust. Just for some reason, this one this is a Northstar. So I never really had to I never had to take a transmission out of a Northstar before. I mean, the General Motors 1465, I rebuilt a 1465 before. I took out plenty of 1465. So this is a 1465. It does not matter what engine or what Northstar V6 or whatever. I can do it. So Leekautorepair. Once again, if you want to follow me on Instagram. Any car questions, you can email me, leekautorepair@gmail.com. Also, leave a comment. If you, whatever comment you want, like you got questions, car questions, need advice, whatever it is, comment, email, Instagram, get at me. Donations, if you want to do like a little nice donation because I helped you out, I helped you basically save a lot of money, and you could have paid a lot of money, but I gave you the little bit of ins and outs on how to do a job like this. So Leekautorepair, $Leekautorepair, Cash App, Venmo, Leekautorepair. you can do that. Whatever that you feel like donating, that's that. But all in all, just know the proceeds was what I meant to say. It's going to like the car shit. So Leekautorepair. I'll see y'all in the next video. Part 2. This is part 1.